for a long time, whenever I would send an opener, they would end up being some funny or clever line that I would paste from one profile to the next. And the problem with that, apart from the fact that they could probably tell when I was doing it, was that I was starting a conversation that had no direction. You want it to be engaging and flow easily where it's effortless. Like the worst thing is trying to create some perfect message when most matches don't actually go anywhere. Like only 10% actually lead to a date. So, what I found that makes conversations way easier is doing one of two things. The first is looking at the profile for anything specific to bring up. And then number two is if they don't have anything, to use a certain fallback opener. But to best explain this, I'm actually going to open up my Hinge account and view profiles with you live to share what I do. Now, to clarify, I'm going through these profiles for what I would say after I get a match. I'm not talking about using comments as an opener. I have a whole recent video about why you shouldn't actually comment on profiles ever, that you should just send a like. If you care about why, I'll link to it below. Basically, the main thing is that it just takes so much more time to do. The only exception to that is if you are on the free version, you only have 8 likes a day, so you can just do whatever you want. But let's get to it. So a great first place to start is their intro section. This person actually has a poll, which is kind of rare. But okay, she's a nurse, long-term relationship, liberal. Okay, nurse could be something to talk about. If I had something, I don't really have anything. If nothing pops to mind for nurse right now, liberal, maybe. I mean, there's always something political to talk about. But let's keep going here. So, okay, so she moved to a city where she didn't know anyone. That's a great thing to ask about. How was that? That's actually like I'm very intrigued about that. That's also like a good prompt because it shares something about her and the fact that it's kind of a rare thing to do. Booking a flight, okay, that's not bad either. That could be one. And okay, she likes Lana Del Rey. If I was a big Lana Del Rey fan, I would ask her about it. And next, Mary, sitting in a cozy bar, sipping coffee. Meh, not a good prompt. Okay, that's an interesting picture. Maybe there's something there to talk about, but I don't really. Maybe I just straight up asking her about it. Reptiles, coffee, chocolate, and flowers. Okay, so this is probably a fallback opener profile. I'll get to those more in a second. Let's just go through a bunch more. Nelly, that's a cool name. Someone outdoorsy, kind of fun, playful, who loves losing at card games. Maybe ask what card game. Again, that's like, it's just better than nothing. Social worker. Okay, nothing really there. Oh, she's bi. Yeah. Oh, building a fort in the living room. That's cool. Nothing exactly to talk about here. Oh, you know what? I should actually like some of these. The last two were decent. Amy. Okay. Film industry. That's something interesting. What are you working on? What are you doing? I used to be an extra many, many moons ago. Pretty basic otherwise. Oh, The Middle by Jimmy Eat World, that's actually a pretty dope song. I love that song. Okay, Taylor is next. You want me to give you a personalized first reaction roast of your profile? Just tell me how you want it. That's interesting. It's a red flag if someone has their Instagram taken or bio. Not a lot here. Not a lot here. I mean, I kind of want her to roast my profile. No, I don't want to send a rose. Next is Sophia, being the perfect +1 to your friend's wedding. Man, partner success, liberal, meh. She's cute, but okay. She won't shut up about reality TV, hitting Goodreads. Go okay. Maybe ask what work or book she likes or workout class. Those are good things. Maybe even reality TV. That just shows like a good prompt. It's not like some amazing prompt, but she's sharing specific things about her. And I don't really care about workout classes or reality TV, but those are all things that you can actually ask about. And again, I'm just doing this for the fact of how I would actually talk to them once I get a match, not talking about sending a comment. The Canucks, the Cowboys, Chelsea, and Ferrari. Again, great prompt. She's very specific about the sports teams, and that could be a whole conversation there. Yeah, she's cool. I'll send a like. Tatiana, a man who's grounded, emotionally mature, confident, and taking responsibility. Someone who is, again, saying what you're looking for is not a good prompt. It is like completely irrelevant. I know nothing about you. The needle isn't moved. You're saying things that everybody wants. It's just a waste of time. However, something that is interesting here is that she's an entrepreneur. That's interesting. I would actually like to I would totally ask her about that. She's Russian too. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. She's got an accent. All right, best travel story. Okay, that's not really a story. She's just asking kind of a useless prompt. And the key to my heart, again, what you're looking for, these aren't good. Emma is next. Not a good first picture. This is kind of like become a profile roast. Aspiring singer songwriters. It's kind of funny. Okay, that's cool. I like the pictures. Okay, no, she's thought she's gonna be young. I don't know what Haim is, but that's. I mean, she included something specific about herself. That's good. Shelby taking me to a used bookstore. Okay, she likes that. Production coordinator. Good, she put that stuff there. Okay, here we go. Dungeons and Dragons, Lord of the Rings. I don't know what his dark materials or Sea trilogy, whatever. But there's a lot there. I would probably ask her about Lord of the Rings because that's I think the only one that I actually have history with. I did like the Dungeons and Dragons movie. Yep, she's into books. Roses by Outcast. Okay, she's got a dog. A lot to talk about there. Kelsey's next. Emotionally available. That's not even useful. Grade 3 teacher. That's interesting. Could ask her about that. Like, what it's like with the kids or something. There's a lot of angles there. Okay, this is actually a really good prompt because she's sharing that she's plant based. That's awesome. And to the right person, she'll stand out. If I was plant based type of person, then perfect thing to talk about. Christina next. Someone to go to EDM shows. Okay, perfect one. What kind of EDM artists do you like? Or maybe I just like share the ones I'm into. Oh, she works at an airline. That's, I guess, somewhat useful to know. Skydiving in Australia. Sure. Like going back to what I said about it being effortless, it is the most effortless when it's something that you can actually relate to. There's like two different types. One of them is like, okay, skydiving. I can't relate to that. It's not going to be as easy to continue that chat and dig deeper into something specific. But if I had, that would be a great conversation. Talking about like going up in the plane and everything, what got you into it. And actually, that would still be a good one to ask about. I can't remember if I even like her, but I'll say yes. Oh, I'm out of likes. Ooh, I'm on the free version right now. Oh well. Next is Allegra, flight attendant, Mexico. All right, she's Mexican. That's cool. And again, you can also look at your pictures. I didn't really do that enough, but that's something that you can do. Sometimes there's something relevant in there. Life goal of mine, diverse investment empire. Okay, she might actually be knowledgeable about investments. And if I was too, that's a perfect thing to talk about what they think of the market or whatever the hell's happening. I have no idea. I should probably get into that at some point. Vulnerability, like, okay, that's cool, but it's not really something that you can talk about. So again, this would be potentially a good fallback opener. All right, Zed. Oh my god, she has a fear of ovens. That's not good. She's all right. Nothing to work on here. Nothing to work on here. Okay, is this is this code for something plant or she just straight up killed her plant? I don't know. Anyways, fallback opener. Paris is next. My best side. Sometimes they have comments. I always miss this, but if you can see in the top left, sometimes it has a note. Oh, she's into Hogwarts. That's something perfect you can talk about. She has a poll option, which is always cool. ENTP, that's those, is that Myers Briggs or whatever? So that's, if you're into that, that's something good. She's a voice prompt. All this is great because she's actually including stuff about herself. And finding the secret level in a video game. Okay, great. Ask her what video game she's into. All of this before we even got into the actual information about her. Art University, and yeah, she seems cool. Binging Lord of the Rings. Cool, another Lord of the Rings person. It's kind of funny. Spotify playlist, that's another thing. She's got a solid profile. Damn it, I'm out of likes. Oh no. And like, by the way, like you shouldn't do this. Like if you're out of likes, you shouldn't just press X all the time because it's going to mess up your feed, but I'll do it for the sake of the video. Uh, Haley is next. Frank Ocean, oysters, photography. Perfect. I like all those things. She's a scout at Scout, whatever that is. Yeah, I'd totally ask her. I forgot to actually mention that part. Frank Ocean, what songs does she like? Oysters. Probably nothing there. If she's ever like had one like straight from the beach, I've had that once. It was pretty good. It's kind of weird. Photography, whole different thing. I'm knowledgeable enough about cameras. I can actually ask him things like what camera she has, what lenses, blah blah blah, that sort of thing. Great, great things to talk about because although I'm not like a huge Frank Ocean fan, I could probably talk about him for quite a bit. We probably have similar artists we're into. Photography, that could be a whole conversation. And then like I could just ask him out. We can just kind of use a like one good conversation and just kind of launch yourself into suggesting a date. Chelseaana. Okay, she looks like a hippie type. Oh yeah. Okay. This is actually pretty cool because she's dialed into her type. Like there's a guy that's into that kind of stuff. And just like that's kind of what you should do, ideally. She's from Phoenix, a mix between I don't know what that is. I don't know. Yeah, she does well showing that she's like in a certain lane that you can kind of like tell her personality almost just from the pictures. She says microwaves are unnecessary. All right. A lot to ask about if you're into her. So the main thing about fallback is you just don't want to ask something that would give a yes or no response. So don't say, "Are you excited for Christmas?" Because she'll just be like, "Yes, what about you?" But if you asked her what her plans are for Christmas, that is much more likely to give something specific, to give you details, which could actually launch like a pretty good conversation. Like maybe she travels for it. Maybe she goes to some cabin with her family. Maybe she is cooking a big dinner, maybe some family drama or whatever it may be. Any of that is a great way to start a conversation that might go a direction naturally by itself because the more details that she provides, the more information, the more angles you can take it, the more like, oh, that's really good. That really, like, you're actually kind of like faith basing this conversation. I'm getting way too deep into this. Um, but you want to get specific and not a yes or no answer. And the most easiest, like simple version of this is I always say, it's just like, what did you get up to today? What did you get up to this weekend? That's a million times more easy than asking how their day was, because that's a yes or no answer, or like good, basically. However, if you are still struggling, there are some lines that I can share that can actually give you a decent result. And if you just want it as easy as possible, the first one, asking what was the best part of your day? I like that. What's something you're looking forward to lately? I also like that. And I think my favorite is if you had the next week off, how would you spend it? I feel like that's like a pretty good way to have them reveal things about themselves that could actually spark a pretty good conversation. Now, it's important to say this style of chatting is going to appeal to most women on Hinge because most are actually looking for a relationship and not just some one and done hookup. So, having actual, you don't have to put a lot of effort into this, but putting some effort, you'll get a lot quicker at this and better at this in time. But that bit of effort is what they want to see. They don't just want to like see some like two-word replies or anything like that. It like if you're getting unmatched often, it's a good chance that that's the reason. It can happen for a lot of reasons, but that's a pretty common reason why. Now, if you want some actual examples of me using this in a conversation and seeing where it goes, I'll link to a video right now that does exactly that. But otherwise, I'll talk to you again soon.